Welcome, everyone, and thanks for being here. Today's presentation is all about quality organization and service and why these ideas matter in today's economy. If you're like me, you might think, what does this really have to do with my everyday job? The truth is, it has everything to do with it. Whether you're working part-time in a grocery store or preparing for a career in management, understanding how businesses operate will put you way ahead of others. Throughout the next slides, I'm going to walk you through how companies are structured, why quality matters, and how customer service builds loyalty, and how creativity connects all of us into this. Think about your favorite restaurant, store, or sports team. Why do you stay loyal to them? Usually it's because they provide something of value, and that's it's basically everything. And that starts inside the company in and of itself, from management all the way down to employees. Keep that question in mind. What kind of employee or leader do I want to be? By the end of this, I hope you'll see how your choices from day to day can lead to long-term success, not just for your company, but for you as well. Let's start with the basics, how a company is built from the inside out. Every good business starts with directional statements, things like the mission statement, vision statement, and core values. Those aren't just words on paper, they are guides and they give directions at every level of the company. Have you ever worked or been a part of an organization where everybody seemed to know what the goal was? It's frustrating. When you know the company's direction, it's like having a map. It makes you easier, more meaningful, and more effective. And all that's about the job. It makes the job easier, more meaning, more effective. Take Starbucks for an example. They don't just sell coffee, they sell an experience. That's part of their mission, creating a welcoming place for people to come and connect. They have free Wi-Fi. You come in, you can sit down, look at emails, do your schoolwork, and it smells good. It smells like coffee. I mean, it's the best place for somebody to come in, have a good cup of coffee, sit down, and enjoy the atmosphere. Why does this matter to you? Because you understand that the bigger picture. You start out making decisions differently. You start thinking like a leader. And if you're starting out as an entry level employee, even if you are starting out as an entry level employee. Now let's talk about lines of authority, also called the chain of command. Why does this matter? It gives businesses order and structure. It avoids confusion. Think think of it like football. There's a quarterback calling plays, but they don't just make up the game plan on the fly. They follow directions from a coach who follows directions from an owner. In a business, the CEO is like the head coach. They're responsible for making the entire sports team work together and they reach goals. The organizational chart helps employees know how to do reports and where they can go with questions. Have you ever seen coworkers skip steps and go over people's heads? It usually causes problems, and that's why respecting the chain of command is so important, so you can avoid those problems. Remember Lucia's story from the reading of the book? She didn't even realize she was giving feedback to the CEO of the company, but because she was so respectful and professional, it worked in her favor. Start learning the names of positions of the leadership or managers, CEOs of wherever you work. You never know who you might be talking to, and it's always nice to have that in your back pocket if you need to talk to anybody. Every company, big or small, has divisions that helps it run smooth. Think of them like players on a sports team. For example, I'm about to list off five or six of them. You have finance and accounting. They handle the money, the payroll, anything to do with money, that's finance and accounting. The HR division, they recruit and take care of the players, aka employees. They that they always do a great job. They do the work that a lot of people don't want to do. They deal with complaints and everything along those lines. You have operations that make sure the product and service actually gets done, delivered on time. The quality of the product has to be up to standard or code. And marketing brings in the fans, aka the customers. They put the they put the product in front of them, and hopefully they eat it up and they love it and they want to come back for more. You have IT and information systems is like the playbook. They keep everything connected. They let everybody know what's going on. They hold it all together through the technology side of things. And the legal counsel make sure everybody's following the laws, nobody breaks the rules. It just keeps everybody in line. Here's a real life example. Have you ever worked somewhere that kept ordering things that they didn't need? That's what happened to Max in the reading in chapter 7. He went wild ordering supplies because he didn't know about the budget and he didn't know the budget. So, what should have Max done? The right answer is think like an owner. Would I spend my own money on this? And if you don't think like that at work, or if you do think like that at work, you'll be trusted with more responsibility and probably more pay down the road, hopefully. Let's talk about quality. What does that word mean to you? For me, quality means consistency and getting what you expect every time. Businesses provide either goods or services, doesn't matter which one. You need to focus on giving the customers what they paid for every time, whether that be a good and or a service. Think about a haircut. You might not go back to the same barber if they mess it up once, right? It's the same with any product or service. But why do some employees not care about quality? Usually because they don't feel connected to the outcome. They don't see that their work directly affects the customer and they don't get to see if the quality of the product that they made brings the customer back to buy it again. I'll give you an example from my own experience. When I worked at the retail store, I noticed that the back stock room was always messy, always messy. It was a retail store here in Dothan. I won't drop any names, but I always spent extra time reorganizing it. Turns out that it did help my coworkers find things faster, and we ran more efficiently, and we got our product out to the customers faster. And guess what? Sales in that department did go up. I'm not sure if that was a direct, uh, I don't know if that was a direct correlation with me cleaning up the stock room or what, but it could have just been good timing. Creativity. Creativity is simply about asking, what if? Innovation is acting on that question and making something new or better from that what if. One of the greatest of creativity, one of the greatest examples of creativity is Thomas Edison's invention of the phonograph. That idea eventually led to smartphones. It all started from MP3 players to iPods to iPhones to iPads, computers, anything smart that we use today can be traced back to the phonograph. Now think about your job or your classes. Have you ever asked, why do we always do it this way or that way? That's where the creativity starts. Whether you take that idea and it's just improvements or not, you're showing leadership potential in that because you're thinking of the what if and why do we do things this way and how can this be based off differently. Here's a real world example. UPS saved millions of dollars just by programming their GPS routes to avoid left turns. That's innovation based on a creative idea. I don't understand how that works, how they avoid left turns, but I did find that online and I thought that was pretty cool. So I added that in there for y'all. What's one small thing you could change at work or school to make life easier? Small improvements stacked over time create major success, whether that's you jotting down in a notebook what you have due this week, or if that's you even just making your bed in the morning so you can crawl back in a made bed at night. I mean, little things like that stack up over time. Even like I said, just making a bed will make your night after work. You come home after a long day, tired, you want to crawl into a clean made bed. I mean, that's hard to beat, and that's all because you took 5 minutes out of your day in the morning, right when you woke up to make your bed. Small improvements stacked over time create major success. Customer service is everything. It's not just about smiling. It's about respect, knowledge, and effort. Here's something important is the internal customers, also known as your coworkers. They matter just as much as the external ones. If we treat our coworkers poorly, that negative energy spills over to how we treat our actual outside customers. Nobody likes walking into a retail store or calling a company and hearing annoyed employees snapping at each other in the back of the phone call. It's very uncomfortable for the customer, and it's extremely uncomfortable if you're in the middle of the snapping and snarling back at the office. When you're a customer, how do you expect to be treated? Do you want honesty, fast answers, and for someone to actually care about helping you on what you need to be helped with, and to not rush you as you're shopping and to not rush you through it? I challenge everyone here to start practicing using customers' names, greeting them warmly, and listening more than talking. Companies notice that behavior, and those employees get promoted faster. Happy employees lead to happy customers. I mean, I know if I'm not feeling great going into work one day, I work at a tire store here in Dothan now. Uh, I'm on the front counter doing the sales, a little bit of outside sales, and mainly handling the retail side of customers' cars. If I'm having a bad day, I've got to throw on a fake game face to where I'm happy and I'm always ready to help the next customer. We'll get piled 10, 12 people walk through the door at the same time. Of course, I'll get overwhelmed and I've got to put on a game face. I can't let them show that I'm having a bad day or I'm overwhelmed. I've still got to be the same guy that they know from coming in prior. I'm always happy. I can help them. I can do whatever I need to do to make their life and day easier by getting their tires fixed to oil changes to whatever you could imagine with their car. Why does all this matter? Because excellent service builds customer loyalty, and that leads to repeat sales, and repeat sales builds profits. And profits lead to praises, promotions, growth, and all things we want from our careers. Just from me being nice to some people and shaking their hand when they walk in the door, greeting them and helping them out to the best of my ability, they come in, let's say 4, 5, 6 months later when it's time for another oil change or a new set of tires for their daughter or son, just whatever they bring in, they come in, they call me by name because I treated them with respect and showed them how things should be done and not try to scam them out of anything by helping them to the best of my ability. When they come in and they ask for me, that means a lot to me because I know I did my job right the first time and that they want to come in and do business with me again. It's just, it does make my day. And if I can be a good enough person to them the first time where they want to come back, I love it. I mean, it's great for me. It's great for the company. It's great for everybody. Have you ever recommended a Have you ever recommended a restaurant or a store to someone just because you liked how the employees treated you? That's what happened to Kiana when she ordered pizza. Friendly voice, clean shop, good food. That's a full experience, not just a product. Even if the pizza wasn't good, you probably still get recommendations. Let's not forget that your appearance does matter. We don't trust people who don't look the part. Fair or not, that's reality. You present your company with your clothes, your posture, your words, and even your social media presence. Take this for example for what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a button-up shirt to do this presentation because I want y'all to think that I am a professional. I want y'all to think the professional that I think I am. And if you were to get on here and I was wearing a cut-off t-shirt, you probably would not have listened to this far in the video. That's basically what it boils down to. You wouldn't respect anything that I had to say, and that's about it. So first impressions they do last. This is the first time I'm seeing you face to face. So yeah. What about the customers that are always difficult? Maybe they're yelling, demanding things that don't make sense, or just having a bad day. It's not about who's right or wrong. It's about finding solutions to the problem at hand. Stay calm, let them talk it out. If someone's yelling, don't match their energy. Use phrases like, I hear you, let's work together to fix this, and I want to help. Most importantly is don't accept abuse. If someone starts cursing or threatening you, stay calm and say, I'd like to help, but I need you to speak respectfully to me first. Best customer service workers are like referees. They don't get flustered. They just stick to the rules and they follow protocol. And if you can fix the problem without calling a manager, do it. The more problems you have, you can solve for yourself, the more valuable become to your employer. They don't want somebody that when something goes wrong, you immediately jump to the manager. I need help. I need help. Take a minute, see if you can figure it out on yourself. And if you can't, then of course, go get help when you need it, but don't get help without trying to fix it yourself first. Right, let's wrap this up with a few key points. Number one is quality matters. It's not optional. It should always be the first thing that you worry about is the quality and the customer. Learn your company's mission statement and use it to guide your daily work. Number three is creativity and innovation can set you apart from others that are working in your same job. And number four, treat internal and external companies with equal respect. You want to treat your coworkers and customers with respect. Number five is stay professional when dealing with difficult people. And finally, act at work like you don't act at work like you act at home. You want to unless you're really professional at home. And how you act at work, it creates a reputation for your customers, your managers, coworkers. How you act is how you are. Be who you want to be and be proud of who you want to be and who you are now. Thank you.